Ready?
Yeah. Are we talking to the camera right now?
Yeah, say remember the camera's up there. All right. Okay. Ready?
Usa.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. What's going on, guys? We decided to make a video of our journey, our mini half cross country trip. What I noticed is we made the video, but we didn't really film an intro to the video. So this serves as an intro, and now that we got it complete, what we're going to do is we're going to go through and watch the video, and then anything that we want to comment on that maybe we missed that we didn't talk about at the end. Basically, we're going to talk about it. So, yeah. Anything from you?
Mm-hmm.
Trip ideas? Anything? Okay.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So basically what we did was I recorded parts of it because I thought about doing it halfway. So I recorded parts of the zoos and aquariums that we went to, and then at the end we just kind of did like a little car conversation where we just recorded. Where we just kind of talked about our experience at that zoo or aquarium, but everything was off the top of our head. We weren't looking at any footage or anything like that. So now what we have the opportunity to do is kind of talk about anything.
To relive the experience.
Yeah, we get to relive the experience, and we get to talk about anything that we might have thought was important at the time, or that we really enjoyed that we forgot to mention when we did the car conversation post interview type thing. So yeah.
Without further
ado, let's get on to it.
That was fun.
I believe you. So this right here is the Atlanta Zoo.
Yeah, that was the first one that we went to.
Yeah. Atlanta Zoo was pretty chill. I mean, I wouldn't rank it as a high ranked zoo or anything. But it was just pretty standard zoo, but it wasn't a bad zoo. You want to go to a zoo? I feel like this is a great zoo to go to. Didn't want to be in the top on our list, actually.
Maybe yours, but definitely not mine.
No, it definitely wasn't the top on my list. Atlanta definitely wasn't, but it was.
I didn't care too much for it.
Top. What was the top 3? This was the friendliest alligator snapping turtle I've seen. I will say that.
That thing was massive.
He was huge, but he was like up and looking around. Most of the time you see the alligator snapping turtles and they're like just stationary looking like a rock. So
fun fact, baboon vipers have the longest teeth of any snake in the world. You're welcome.
Reptile expert. Yeah. I thought it was cool because this is the only one I've seen that had the HD video. Well, this looks like it's like a 4K video, to be honest with you. They have the interactive touch screens where you can go through and learn about each animal, and you see they got the arrows for the exhibits to tell you which side it goes on.
I don't remember what that was.
I don't remember. I took pictures of a lot of stuff, but I didn't note what kind of animal it was, honestly, to be honest with you. I didn't. I just took pictures of a lot of animals or whatever. Animals that I haven't seen before when I've been taking pictures. So, yeah.
Birds were a big thing across all the zoos, though.
I don't like how this thing was just going.
We're going to go to the top side of our tropical side where we walk. Now, I have a quick question for all of you. Has anyone ever heard of Bernie or Billy Barkers before?
Great. That was our tour guide at the
Bernie or Billy Barkers?
Preston was
You
dope.
haven't heard of them? Have you ever heard of their own show? So, if you don't know, Bernie Barkers is actually the co-founder.
Yeah, definitely would recommend the tour. He did a very good job, and we're going to speak on that again in a second.
We also got $40 million from different companies like our Southern Company River Scout, which is why we have that habitat here today. Also, Coca-Cola donated 10 acres of land for us to be in the middle of Atlanta, which is why they are the next door neighbors and Brazil Pepsi products in the entire Georgia Aquarium. However, the reason why this is super important is because there was so much money that we were actually able to open.
It's bothering me. I'm not going to stop the
Anytime
video,
you find
but
anything
can you
at
hand
the
me
aquarium,
back
such
up?
as your behind-the-scenes general measurement, anything from the shop.
For some reason, the black on the side from the curtain, yeah, it's like when it's not, the green screen's not smooth straightened out. And I don't know why. It's not.
Shark.
I don't know why.
I believe that was a sand tiger shark.
My stuff. That was a random picture that was in there. I'm sorry.
What is this? Is that the Arctic one? No. That's the river section, I think. Something like that. Open ocean! Whale sharks. They have what? 3, 4
The
whale
Planet
sharks?
Fitness to take
It's not
showers.
working for some reason. I don't know why.
It's making me mad though.
What are you doing?
And this is our first review where you can see us.
All right, guys. So
We had a grand old time.
all right, guys. So we just completed what I would consider our first, I guess, 24-hour cycle of doing what we plan to do for the trip, which is travel, sleep in the car, stop at Love's travel stops, take a shower, Planet Fitness. So I think they live like a bunch of hobos. So I think we just completely did that. So actually, honestly, it was a lot better than what I thought it was gonna be. Actually, had fun. You?
I'd say so.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. So but it wasn't what people think it would be, as bad as people think it would be, as far as like sleeping in the car and stuff. I know people are worried about the danger stuff happening to you when you're sleeping in your car and stuff like that. But it was pretty chill for the most part for me.
I feel like bougie people have problems with that.
Bougie people.
Yeah.
First world problems. All right. But we also we stopped at the Atlanta Zoo. I've already been to the Atlanta Zoo. You've been to the Atlanta Zoo already yet?
The zoo, no. The
Okay.
aquarium, yeah.
So we both been to the aquarium, and it was her first time at the zoo. What did you think of the zoo?
It wasn't nothing special.
Yeah, nothing special.
On zoo standards.
On zoo standards. So, me personally, I got to see some animals that I didn't get to see the first time I went, because last time I dumbly went in like the middle of February, and most of the animals were put up because it was cold and rainy that day.
Yeah, I was excited I got to see the rhinos.
Yeah, so yeah, she got to see the rhinos. The lions and tigers were sleeping because it was a scorcher out yesterday. So yeah, the aquarium, same as before. We actually got to go backstage. What was the guy's name? Was it Preston?
I think so, yeah.
Preston.
Yeah.
Preston was our tour guide. We did backstage at the Georgia Aquarium. Georgia Aquarium is actually the largest aquarium by, I believe it's gallons. I don't know if it's by species, but I think it's by gallons. It's the largest aquarium in the world.
Only one with whale sharks, and they have 4.
Yep, only one with whale sharks, and they got 4 whale sharks. So so we got to go backstage. We got to see where the divers go. We got to see how they make the coral reefs. We got to and I took a lot of pictures. I didn't take a lot of video because he specifically asked not to take too much video, but we could take as many pictures as we like. So I did get a lot of pictures of it. And if you ever go, it's only an extra $15 on top. So if you're really into aquatic life, I think that's pretty dope, that for extra $15 you can kind of go backstage and see everything that they do as far as their research is concerned, because it is also a research facility at the same time. So yeah, and then after that we went to go see went to the drive-in. I think our original plan was to go see some other things in Atlanta, but due to time and everything like that, I dumbly forgot my shoes. So we had to go and find shoes in the time that we had, which is I came across these bad boys, Nike Gore-Texes, since we're doing some hiking and stuff like that.
Not sponsored.
These right. These are comfortable. Yeah, like I said, we're not sponsored anyway. But these bad boys are some of the most comfortable shoes I've seen. And mind you, I am a 6 foot, 250 pound guy. These are very freaking comfortable shoes as well. And we're gonna go hiking. So if we step into water, I'm gonna take the Gore-Tex part when we go hiking later on. So, but yeah, and then we went to go see Thor: Love and Thunder at the Starlight Drive-In in Atlanta, which was pretty cool. Thor was alright. It wasn't like the other Marvel movies. It was good. What about you?
It was okay. I just saw something on Facebook, I think it was. His entire family was in the movie, and that little girl at the end, that was his daughter.
I had no idea. Learn something new every single day. So that's pretty cool as far as making a movie goes. You get your whole family in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sums up our trip for Atlanta. We pit stopped in Cartersville, Georgia, at the Loves, and we took stopped at Walmart, grabbed some things, and we hit the Planet Fitness here, all in Cartersville, on the way to Chattanooga. Chattanooga's like 2 hours away from Atlanta, so you can stop there, and then we're gonna go ahead and Chattanooga hit the zoo, aquarium, and Ruby Falls. Right, right. So, so 1 hour later, see you in Chattanooga.
So, as y'all can see, the Chattanooga Zoo looked very dry. It was listed. It was free to get in, fairly. I kind of agree with it being fair to get in. This was by far
This is where the Gibbons
the
supposed
worst
to be.
zoo I've been to. I don't even think it was a zoo. Maybe if they're going through some budget cuts or something, I understand. But none of the animals were out. We ran along. We ran this peacock right here.
That was the most exciting
like it's
part,
missing the tail.
honestly.
Yeah, and then it looked like his tail was missing feathers, and you know what I'm saying. And she found her way trying to play with the peacock, but
Side note, I'm afraid of birds, though.
yeah, but then
I don't know
yeah, and this goat here was trying to
I
eat
like this
from
one.
under the fence. Maybe they could just be hungry. I think that's a sign of underfeeding right there. I feel like they had food someplace for him to eat. He would have to be trying to eat from under the fence. But goats are notoriously hungry,
You
so
probably can't even see him off
that
the
also could be
reflection.
that.
Oh,
The
you
red
guys see that
panda,
dog?
which is her favorite.
Those are adorable. Used to be rhinos, but definitely the red pandas now. And the meerkats. Those are my top two favorite because apparently they're always out. The only active animal in
But
every
yeah,
single zoo.
but look, listen, look, these are like dog kennels to me, man. Like these are like they just look like they just put rows of fence up and called it a day. They were empty. There was it had a deer in a enclosure by itself, and those are herding animals. It was just terrible. They had the smallest reptile exhibit, I think, out of all of them.
Such a pretty looking snake.
Yeah.
And aquarium. What's that one with the tiny, tiny aquarium?
No, that was
No?
not. That was another one.
Oh. I'm getting
Yeah.
See, look at the meerkats.
Meerkats
They're
are the
all out and
winners.
about.
Meerkats are the winner. If you go to a zoo though, you will see a meerkat. Yeah, see, some of their screens weren't working. A lot of the enclosures were like empty. They weren't. There wasn't anything in them at all. It was just
There's nothing.
empty enclosures, nothing.
Capybara. The world's largest rodent.
This I found funny because watch when it gets into the water, it's like it swims like a human. Like, look at it, just lays its legs out, like he can tell it's just relaxing, like just chilling. And I do it all the time when I get in the pool. Like if I get into like shallow water, I just like float my legs up and like walk with my hands across the
You can
bottom.
hear the AC. It's hot in here.
And this is where you hear me
So,
complaining about the hose.
So don't judge us. We just left the Chattanooga Zoo. We're gonna be on the way to the Tennessee Aquarium now. Chattanooga Zoo was very underwhelming. It was bad. I didn't like the habitats at all. Looked like they were enclosed in.
They didn't even have like the basics, like lions, tigers, and
Yeah,
bears.
they didn't have the basic. Yeah, lions. They didn't have the lions, tigers, bears.
And then a mountain lion.
They had certain animals that I felt like needed more room.
Jasmine
all of them I
Sullivan-
felt like
Jasmine
were too
Sullivan
small
reference?
enclosures. And I get it, we're going to zoos, and most animals are already in enclosures and not in their natural habitat in the first place. But they did a very bad job. A lot of them are just in like too small cages. Some animals like a bobcat that can climb trees, they have it in the little closed-in thing. Nothing really for it to climb in there. So, yeah, some of the screens weren't working for information. It was very underwhelming for me. For you? Yeah. So we're going to, I guess, start off ranking them as we go. So far, Chattanooga's on the bottom. Definitely on the bottom. I think that right now, and I think it's far enough to be our rock bottom. Hopefully we don't go to a zoo that's worse than the Chattanooga Zoo. So we're going to go, Atlanta's 1 right now, Chattanooga's 2, Georgia Aquarium still 1. Until we go to the Tennessee Aquarium, and we'll do that when we get back. Yep.
And burger look good though.
The burger, so far, 2 zoos so far. They both have this place called Wild Burger. So I don't know if that's going to be a zoo thing as we go. Wild Burger being at zoos. But we stopped there. I think at Georgia it was closed. The Atlanta Zoo was closed. But we went to it here, and it was pretty good. Good sized burger. You got some pulled pork fries, pulled pork bacon fries.
That wasn't. The pulled pork was dry.
Ooh.
Caesar salad was
Caesar salad was.
I find it funny that as soon as we mentioned this place, because we thought we were going to see it all the time, we never seen it again. That was the last time we seen that Wild Burger spot. I thought we was going to find a place to eat.
Is a minus. So, Tennessee Aquarium? Tennessee Aquarium. This is the Aquarium River Journey. You get your tickets over there. And that is also part of the Ocean Journey over there in the building over there.
And I love the places kind of with the designed like entrance kind of. So we just kind of walked through like a rock kind of path, and in the view there were tanks that we could see. So, yeah. Good, I caught you.
cute little otters.
I thought if they were running like Olympic style laps in the pool, they were just going back and forth and kicking off the wall, shooting. I think these are like the most active otters that we've definitely seen. But this is by far the best aquarium out of all of them.
The best, hands down.
We spent a lot of time in this first part right here, which is the river journey, and it was awesome. It was very descriptive. They had different kinds of fish and animals.
You're not gonna stand up?
They had that little cool thing. Most aquariums had that though. You can stand inside of the tank, kind of. But I loved how they had everything laid out on the side like that, so you could see all the different types of animals, fish, reptiles that they had. All of the tanks were built very well. Like, look at that. That looks very naturalistic. I loved it. I loved it.
I love that. I thought that
the
was
nursery?
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something you don't see. I want to do that.
A turtle nursery?
Not a turtle nursery, but
Just a nursery of snakes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I might dig you one with the turtle nursery.
Just have like a big wall of all the breeding reptiles and their eggs.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Because it's behind the scenes, you know. People don't see what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah. And then it was very interactive. They had, like, you wiped over the thing. Then it had different videos that you could watch when you go in. So it was very interactive, and I enjoyed that as well. So if anybody that wants to be interactive, they can.
Can we get ice cream after?
We went to like 5 aquariums, 6 aquariums. I did not touch one stingray. I know it happened to Steve Irwin, and I will never forget the stingray for that. And so therefore, I just did not interact with one at all.
just doing what a stingray does.
You know what? You're right.
And you know what?
Steve
Steve
Earle
knew better.
might feel that
He
way.
knew better.
He knew better? What is wrong with you?
He knew better.
I was going to agree with the idea that Steve knew what a stingray was capable of. You'd be like, oh, he knew better. Like
He
like
did.
he had a problem. He's an icon.
I know. And I miss him dearly. But people mess up.
Drop a tear for Steve.
So dramatic.
They faked me out. I so totally thought that was a whale shark up there. It's a rock.
Oh yeah, that was dope. I thought that was a little shark picture. Did you see it?
Yeah. Oh, these are the caves.
Yeah. These are the caves in the Ruby Falls is what this was called.
Yeah.
I got upset in here. You guys are gonna see when we do the video at the end of this. I'm not gonna try not to relive my anger on this one. But I was very upset. And a lot of the rock felt fake to me. I felt like the tourist, I don't know the word, made it a tourist attraction. I was gonna say touristize it, and that's not a word at all. That's not a word at all. But they made it very. It didn't feel real. So I was able to catch that at the end.
While she's
Here
over
we
there
go.
doing that. So yesterday we went to the Chattanooga Zoo and the Tennessee Aquarium. Chattanooga Zoo, as we said, definitely on the bottom. Hopefully we don't come across worse than the Chattanooga Zoo. The Tennessee Aquarium, however, was freaking amazing. It was so great the way they displayed everything. I think at the Georgia Aquarium, one, it has more research. They're doing a lot of research. It's a research facility for animals as well. They're growing their own coral and all that stuff like that. That's the amazing part about them. Also, I think their big thing was gallons. It was basically just, we got a bunch of water and a bunch of fish. This is crazy how my whole hand covers your face when I do that. I block you out. It's like one of those things. You're like working on camera angles. You just, oh shit, don't put your hand in front of your face. You get that. But it was just like, we got a bunch of water, there's a bunch of fish, we got whale sharks. We're the only people with whale sharks. You know what I'm saying? And take that on, for itself and look at all the animals.
I think that's just their big pool.
Yeah, whale sharks. Right.
Georgia Aquarium, whale sharks.
Whale sharks. But the Tennessee Aquarium, they did a great job, in my opinion, of habitat recreation. Like, each tank was unique. It looked familiar to what part of the world they were from. They had certain fish in different habitats. It was very lifelike. They had different parts of the world and what fish resides in those kind of ponds, lakes, rivers, or river. So the first part was called the river journey, basically. Now that I said river, and it took us through like different rivers or lakes or whatever, and they had different kinds of fish with different kinds of environments inside those, and that was just amazing. Like, you just walk through this hallway, and they told you a different place, and it was just different, and it was amazing. All the fish and the species that they had in there that you could, that you could actually see. I don't think they were as informative, right? They weren't as informative. They just kind of gave you a list of the fish. They didn't really give you a description of the fish and where they're from and all of that too much. They just gave you a list of the fish that was in the tank, but they didn't explain it to you. But then they did have a nice area where you can kind of learn about stuff. They had a big interactive TV where you could touch things like that. You could play with the lighting controls in some of the tanks. They had a turtle nursery, which was real cool. She's reptiles. I'm more, even though it is reptile, I'm a big turtle person. So they had a turtle nursery, so that was kind of cool to see. What did you do?
I just like the whole setup of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Whoever designed it needs a raise.
Yeah. Whoever designed that needed a raise, or if they've already been paid for the job, you need to pay them, monthly, a stipend or something like that. Because it was a great idea. The bottom of it was, I thought it was like a floor at first when we got down there. It was like a pool. Like, the bottom floor wasn't even a floor. It was like you walked over a balcony and the whole bottom of it was water with painted shells under the bottom. But it was very cool. We spent a long time in just that, and then we remember there was 2 parts. They had the river journey, and then they had the ocean voyage is what they called the second part, the 2 different buildings. So we spent a long time in the river journey because it was so cool looking at all the different tanks and how they had them, uniquely set up. Versus the ocean Voyager was just like basically a mini Georgia Aquarium, basically, where it's a big pool of water and they have different fishes, different types of fish, not fishes. Fishes plurals, not fishes.
I still say fishes.
But fish or fishes, or maybe Kim Possible where she go. Fish or fishes. But if
I
they had
think
a
I'd
bunch of fish.
recommend, if anybody wanted to go there, I'd say go to the ocean one first.
Yeah, I'd go to the ocean one
Definitely
first.
go to the ocean side
Instead of-
first. It was kind of a buzzkill, honestly, like after going to the river
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was kind of cool though, walking out and be like, oh my god, we still got, that was just happening.
We still got the whole other side to go. So yeah, it was cool. Like I said, if you go river journey, ocean voyager, it's cool to realize like you go through all that, and it's like, oh, we still got a second part we got to go to. But as far as excitement goes, I would go to the ocean voyager first, and then go to river journey, like she said, because it was a lot. It's a lot better. The ocean voyager is basically a mini Georgia Aquarium, and they had. You can walk under. You can look inside the tanks. A lot of places for you to stand. The cool thing where you can crawl under the tank and stand in the middle, like that. But it was cool. But yeah, that river journey part, that part was the best so far I've seen. That's a high expectation as far as recreating tanks goes. So definitely. So now we're in Nashville. We took out the Nashville Zoo and the River Aquarium. The aquarium restaurant. So yeah.
Apparently they don't have an aquarium here.
So we'll find out. We don't know if it's just an aquarium. We don't know if it's an aquarium and a restaurant. It's an aquarium with a restaurant in it. We don't know, but we will figure that out. And so yeah. To the zoo.
Listen, this zoo. This was the zoo we went with all the school kids.
Yeah. Definitely. Listen.
No, it was camp.
Huh?
Because the school wasn't in yet. It was camp.
Yeah, camp, whatever.
All the camp kids.
Listen. Listen.
We're about to anger some people.
Listen, I'm not about to anger anybody. All I'm just saying is, if you want to avoid kids, and I feel like this probably was common sense, and we didn't have it on our part. Friday, Saturday especially, is the worst morning to go to the zoo. There is 1,000,001 kids. Okay, definitely. You could just hear them all around. And I was trying to film without getting any kids in the video because YouTube with the COPPA and all of that stuff going on. I tried to do my best to not get any kids in this video at all, so I didn't want to do that. And they made it very hard. And running up to the glass in the middle of the video shoots and everything. Yeah.
Sorry.
No. By all means. We stop pushing. We be fidgeting and stuff. Audio.
Yeah, there was a lot of poses.
But yeah, I definitely like the enclosures. I always love realistic enclosures. You can. You did. I think she only not named one. This was cool. This was the second coolest bat exhibit, though. That was the second coolest bat exhibit. We'll talk about it later on. I'll save all my excitement.
Roaches! They got roaches!
The Herculean roach.
Just feeding Doc
Hercules. I found out there were a lot more different kinds of roaches than I thought there were. I knew they were multiple kinds, but I did not know they were other kinds. These are basically wild roaches. They be armored, shelled up, hissing. There's some dangerous roaches out here for us to be freaking out about the water bugs we got down here in the south.
Come on.
Critter encounters. Oh, this is where the toucan was.
Oh yeah.
It's probably the only bird I'd ever get.
This is the funniest thing I found out about tortoises, about watching them. Tortoises, man, they just be sprawled out, man. It's like when they stop walking, they just like, man, I'm tired of carrying this shell, man. They legs be all over the place like that. Like, it's ridiculous.
Toucan Sam. Where is it?
I don't know. It's an alpaca. Flamingos. Did you know flamingos are actually white and they're pink because they eat a bunch of krill? Did you know that?
No.
You did?
I don't think I didn't.
Well now you know. And I found that out because she told me, and I was just being sarcastic. But she told me that, and I had no idea that they weren't born pink. Which is weird. I'm glad I don't turn the color of the food I'd eat, or I'd be a spicy
They're
chicken sandwich from
lemurs.
Chick-fil-A.
Are those lemurs?
Yeah, these were lemurs. This one I will say, a lot of their enclosures on the backside were just like, they made it really natural. This Koi River they had there, and then but a lot of it was, I guess, because they had the mountains. They were in the mountains already, being in Tennessee. They just took it and just put a net over the side of a mountain, kind of, and did it. That was the best guinea pig enclosure I've seen.
I've never seen a guinea pig enclosure.
That's what they got for them.
My sister
It
was
was
a
like
guinea pig.
it's like a little guinea pig village. So that's they were just chilling.
Imagine seeing a wild guinea pig.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I wouldn't be scared or nothing. I'd just be shocked. Like,
Right?
Like, oh, look at guinea pig.
Like a wild hamster.
I
Ever
mean,
think of that?
anything I'm seeing in the wild, I think that'll be the last thing, unless they eat a bunch of like squizzies.
Horses.
Kangaroos.
There's like a little walking path that you could go through, and technically you could touch the kangaroos and pet them, but you weren't actually allowed to go up to them. They had to come to you with a cat.
Yeah, one of those things.
And they had people standing in there making sure that you don't run
Those
up
bunch
to
of
them.
kids. This is the Aquarium restaurant. And they tried to sell it as this whole underwater dining adventure. But really the only part that's underwater is this little walkway that I'm about to show you when we walk in. And then after that, you're just basically sitting next to a fish tank.
I like
So-
the fish tank.
So this was, no, I'm not saying it wasn't bad. But when they say underwater dining adventure, I thought like, and the way it looks online is that you get to sit under, you can fish swim over and all of that. But in reality is they just, that one part you walk through was over, and then the rest of it was just this giant fish tank that you're about to see, or aquarium to the left, that we sat in front of. The food was great though. I did enjoy the food though.
I still wish I got the ravioli, but yeah.
It was worth it though. Look at that, man. Look at it. Oh my god. It was good. And what kind of lemonade did they give us in those like fancy cups?
It was like a
Strawberry lemonade.
something lemonade.
With like real strawberries, it was awesome.
Something.
But we're gonna recap right here
I
though.
forgot to talk
So.
about, but Ruby Falls. I'm pissed off about the way they handled the situation there.
I was wondering where this
really
clip
wanted to
at, but
go
this is
there
where my anger
because
is.
of, I went to Chattanooga before for a All-Star game, and my mom was with me, and she went to Ruby Falls, and she always wanted to go back, and I didn't get a chance to check it out because I only planned to just go to the game and come back. So I was really excited about going. Plus, it was a cave. I've never really been in a cave before. All kinds of stuff. And we got there, and the cave was alright. Wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. But we get to the end in the fall, and a guy collapses. I don't know if it was a seizure, stroke, whatever it was. But he collapsed on the floor. Had to call EMT. But what pissed me off about the whole situation was once our tour guide made the emergency call that EMT needed to be called, and we have a person collapsed on the ground. Whoever's in charge that was at the front desk, his name was Blake. I don't know what his position was or if he was in charge, but he seemed like the guy that was in charge of taking the tickets. And so when I approached him to ask if they were stopping sending people down, he offered me to go down into the cave and like, oh, you can take the next one in 7 minutes. And it's like, bro, no, you need to stop sending people down. You have a man collapsed on your floor, and EMT just went down, and you're still sending people on the tour. Like, that doesn't make sense. And it's not like it's on a restricted part or a part that you could just cut off. It's like, no, it's called Ruby Falls, and right in front of the waterfall is a guy on the ground. Like, so I don't think, you know what I'm saying, it made sense for you to go down, send people down there. Your customers, and it's a cave, it's a narrow, probably wide. This car is too wide. The cave was literally narrow. Like, I had to turn sideways sometimes. And as a guy collapsed, you just going to send people down like nothing's wrong. And then when we stopped tour guides on our way back up, this was so before I even got to Blake, on the way back up when we turned around, we were talking to the tour guides on the way back, and they had no idea what was going on. So you let nobody know. You didn't tell the tour guides nothing, which means you didn't tell the customers nothing or anything, and you just sent people down like nothing was going on. And that, I was pissed off at the time. A lot more pissed off than I am now. Now I'm kind of calm. It was over a day ago, and I'm just kind of, venting about it now. But it was very irresponsible. The guy that was a tour guide, I think they need some kind of emergency response training, not real training like a paramedic or anything, but if something was to happen, you know what I'm saying, you're underground in a mountain, in a cave, proper ways to respond to the situation. I think the tour guide, apparently he was a teenager, so I'm not going to call his name or anything, but he did all he could do. He called EMT, but he was visibly, visibly freaked out about the situation.
Yeah, he was shook.
Yeah, he was shook about the whole thing. He didn't really kind of seem like he was trying to assure us that he was calm and that he knew what he was doing, but it was visible to everybody else that was adults that he didn't know that he was freaking out about the situation and didn't know what to do. So I stayed. I made sure I talked to the lady that was with the guy that collapsed on the ground, and then when the EMT came, I made sure I talked to them as well to explain to them the whole situation of what was going on, so they can get a heads up, because I'm pretty sure he didn't explain it well either. So, but yeah, that was my experience at Ruby Falls. I'll probably, knowing that it's the only place that I did not get a souvenir from on this whole trip, and it's probably one of the places where I wanted to get a souvenir from the most, and it's the only place I didn't get one from because I just didn't want to support it. They gave us a refund, but yeah, I was upset that they kept sending people down on the tour in this cave, and it's not like they could just go on a different path. Like, he's in front of the main attraction. You know what I'm saying? You can pause, you can delay anything until they come back up, because by the time we got to the top, EMT was on the way down, and they're gonna have to come through the gurney. And like I said, just me myself, I had to turn sideways sometimes to walk through, and dunk my head, and I'm only 5'11", 6 foot tall. So the fact that I had to duck my head and the paramedics have to come through with a gurney, with the guy on the gurney, there's not much room for them for a tour group of people and the gurney to be slided through. So but yeah, I wasn't happy with that decision at all.
It's not just that either. It's disrespectful to the person that it happened to, and embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
And just imagine being like on the tour, and all of a sudden you end up in front of that attraction and you see somebody on the ground and nobody's doing anything about it.
Nothing.
Like, you're there to enjoy your time, have a vacation and whatnot, and then that happens. Then you walk up on it, it's like, what's going on here? And then people start freaking out.
Yeah, and you got people down in the cave. They thinking this is a city. They because it's cool. I remember we told one lady and she was up there and she was like, so they started immediately asking questions like, has this happened before? This and that. And I understand not wanting to create pandemonium. But the calmest thing would have been done is say, hey, we have a situation going on, and you know what I'm saying. Even if you don't tell them what's going on, just let them know that we have a situation. We're not sitting people down right now. At least to the you know what I'm saying EMT because they're going to see the EMT regardless. You know what I'm saying. There wasn't two routes. There was like one route through the whole cave, down and back. So they're going to see the EMT whether they're already in the cave or whether they're coming out. Whatever, it doesn't matter. They're going to see the EMT. They're going to freak out at some point. So you'd rather have that conversation. If they want to leave. Wait for them. Do whatever you need to do. But I just think it was disrespectful to them. And the lady that was there, she was like, she wasn't really sure if this was a frequent thing because this was their second date. You know what I'm saying? So she doesn't really know his medical history like that. So all conversations I had with her that nobody talked to her or had with her before the EMT came. So, but yeah, and they were going to just leave him down there because the tour guide told us that he was going to stay down there. So he told us to leave. So then we started to leave, and then about 2 minutes of us walking out of the cave, we hear footsteps coming behind us, and it's him. So it's like, if you're walking with us, you're saying you're going to stay, and the only people I know for sure back there is the man that collapsed and his girlfriend, you just going to leave them down there? And then when the EMT came, it wasn't like he was meeting the EMT. The EMT came, and he just kept walking. Like, while I talked to the EMT, and the EMT walked, he just left him down there and came up. So
that's why when that lady that passed us did you see the one in the neon vest?
Mm-hmm.
They walked by us. She was like irritated because he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah,
he was just leaving.
Yeah, and he just left out and just walked. He just left out and walked and didn't do, you know what I'm saying, do anything. And I get it, you know what I'm saying. If you're not medical, what can you really, you know what I'm saying, for sure do? Because we don't know what to do because we're not medical personnel. But to just leave somebody down there, you're the tour guide or you're the emergency phone call contact to be able to use the phones and stuff that they have down there. It just kind of didn't make sense to me at all. So it's kind of messed up in my opinion. So yeah,
the whole situation just wasn't handled properly at all.
Yeah, so I probably won't go back to Ruby Falls or recommend anybody go to Ruby Falls, especially if they have a medical condition, because they won't take good care of.
The waterfall was pretty neat.
Yeah, the waterfall was alright, but I wouldn't. So yeah. Alright, so we're back. We just got done in the aquarium in Nashville. It wasn't really an aquarium, it was a restaurant actually. Just a restaurant with a big fish tank basically inside the middle. So even though it said like underwater diving experience, you really couldn't go not really under the water, except for like a small part when you first walk in. But the place where you actually eat at, you weren't underwater. All the tables were just based around a large fish tank in the middle. Food was good. I had the Mariners mix, which was the steak, lobster, mixed vegetables, mashed potatoes.
I just had shrimp Alfredo.
Just had the basic shrimp Alfredo. The basic shrimp Alfredo. But overall, food was good.
Mozzarella sticks.
Raviolis. It had good options. Shrimp ravioli, different kinds of pasta, things like that. But I just went ahead and just got the steak and lobster meal and tried it out because that was something they had a starfish by. As far as one of the top meals, so I was like, I'll just try that. So I just got the steak and lobster.
Those drinks were good.
Drinks were good though.
Souvenir drinks. Where's our cups?
We got some souvenir drinks. Cups. Where is that? They do have some non-alcoholic souvenir drinks.
It was like a strawberry kiwi lemonade, something like that.
And you get one of these cool light up cups. I don't think you can see it in the daytime there. But you get these cool light up cups that you for souvenirs. So I've been collecting magnets the whole time from our souvenirs so we could light up our refrigerator. But they didn't have any, so these cups are what we got. So yeah. That's it. The next part is the zoos. So we have firmly put the Chattanooga Zoo at the bottom. Next one will be Nashville Zoo. In my opinion, I think I might still sit with the Atlanta Zoo for the sheer fact of different type of animals. I like the Nashville Zoo because it was more naturalistic, I guess. They put it's like,
that's why I would put Nashville in my top.
yeah, it's
I
like
the enclosures better.
like see me. I don't know. I don't know. I like the different types of animals. You like the enclosures. I do like that's the reason why I picked the Tennessee Aquarium over the Georgia Aquarium. But when it came to the zoo, I just like the different type of animals. I feel like I didn't really see much at the Nashville Zoo, but I do like how they took advantage of them already being in the mountains. So a lot of the cages were literally, they just put a cage over the mountain, and that's what they put the animal at. They just put a cage over the side of the mountain, and they just put them in the enclosure. It didn't look like they forced anything. The only thing that looked like the only enclosure that looked forced was the bear. Was the bear enclosure. That's why I like the waterfall, the river.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
I didn't like that
say?
Mountain lion enclosure either.
Like I said,
That was tiny.
it was, but like I said, it looked like all they did was put a cage over the side of the mountain, and that's how they put them in there. So,
I really like the house that they had, the little amphibian reptile.
Yeah,
house. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, the amphibian reptile house. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Although
they had
I'm
bats.
Biased because they had to take it.
Yeah, she's biased. They had to take it. But they had bats. They were the first place to have bats. I don't recall seeing bats at any of the other zoos and their reptile houses and stuff like that. So me personally, yeah, I think I'm still going to stick with the Atlanta Zoo for my one. Nashville is going to be 2, and Chattanooga is right now. We only got 3 choices, and Chattanooga is 10. Chattanooga is 10. We only get, well, I'll put 7 blanks before I get to Chattanooga. Chattanooga I wasn't feeling it at all. So, what about you? Where's your zoo ranking?
My zoo ranking?
Yes.
I got Nashville on top.
You got Nashville on top?
Nashville's definitely on top.
So, Nashville and then Atlanta. And then Chattanooga.
Chattanooga's not even on there.
Yeah, Chattanooga's not on the list. That's just the firm bottom barrel.
Unless you want a good burger.
Unless you want a good burger. What? No, because they have the same restaurant at the Atlanta Zoo. They have that wild burger.
We didn't try the one at the Atlanta Zoo, so we can't confirm that that's like a...
I thought it was the same restaurant, though.
Yeah, but you go to McDonald's in different parts of the country, and they're different.
Look at this tourist here. Like, she knows everything now. Different countries, different burgers. Different states, different burgers. Well, in some countries.
Different menu items.
I guess.
Especially if you go like out of the country. You ever see like the crazy items they have in McDonald's?
No. Well, I've seen them. I haven't been to them because I've never been outside the country. In due time.
We'll change that.
So now we're going to make our trek, which is our longest between city trek. We're going from Nashville to St. Louis, and that's our longest gap. Everything else, other than our original leave to Atlanta, was 4 hours. Atlanta to Chattanooga was 2. Chattanooga to Nashville was 2, and then the rest of it, Columbia, St. Louis. St. Louis to Columbia, Columbia to Kansas City, Kansas City to Nebraska. They're all still 2 hours apart. But from Nashville to St. Louis is 6 hours. So we were going to hit the Sports Hall of Fame, the Country Music Hall of Fame, and the Parthenon, but they all close at 4, very early.
We wound up hitting none of those. We didn't music, Sports Hall of Fame, none of that. We didn't do none of it at all. Which is crazy.
Because this zoo is massive.
Listen, St. Louis Zoo is freaking huge, okay? It's freaking huge. I love the entrance. I love walking in and they had the statues and the waterfalls, and it was definitely dope. But you did a lot of walking.
I was not prepared for that at all.
But it was definitely dope though.
Oh, he's a big boy.
Yeah, it was on the other side. We couldn't see.
There's one over there too.
They had massive elephants.
They had the best elephants though.
One right there.
That's one thing I will say about them. The elephants was the best, and their elephant enclosure took up like the back half of a zoo, as you can see. And these are like walks in between. You're thinking we're going to another exhibit, and it's actually another part of the elephant exhibit that they could walk to. Super interesting. You can see one over here playing by the waterfall. You have the other two baby ones playing in the front. It's crazy. But I like the whole layout though of it. I did.
Oh, this is the dog exhibit.
Yeah, and I thought this was cool that the exhibits, like the tanks were inside, like skulls kind of, so you couldn't really see. But it was like they're like inside rocks and stuff like that, which is kind of crazy. And they had the glow in the dark exhibit so you could see the scorpions in there.
So
I'm glad you can see them on camera too.
Fun fact, if you ever want to find scorpions, turn on a black light.
Yeah.
They glow. Those little ant colonies, right?
Yeah, on the wall.
Butterfly face.
Butterfly houses. A lot of zoos had butterfly houses. I never thought, but yeah, that's pretty cool. They made for some great pictures. My whole goal was I didn't really tell which species were which. My goal was just, if you see a different color butterfly, take a picture of it. And that's what I did basically the whole time.
I was surprised that they were out.
Yeah.
It was hot.
I did like the penguin, because this is the one when you go inside though.
Yeah.
So these are the African penguins. That's why they're outside in the heat. Yeah, these are the African penguins. I knew they had like Galapagos, you know what I'm saying? And the Galapagos, and I know the penguins there, a little bit warmer, so that happens. But yeah, so these are the African penguins right here, which is why they're outside in the heat in the middle of the summer. They would have been used to it. But we had to wait. They were letting us in batches. This is the inside.
Ooh,
this was so dope. And it was cold in here. I mean, you walk around, it's almost 100 degrees outside.
I think it was like 40 degrees inside or something like that.
It was like 40 degrees, so it was awesome inside there. It definitely was. This is one of the bird enclosures. Aviaries is the word that they had.
Fancy word.
Mm-hmm. You just walk inside. They had this beautiful, they had this beautiful park too in the middle. So if you wanted to have a picnic or something out there, definitely dope.
Definitely restaurant. We didn't eat there, did we?
We didn't. Yeah, because we got comfortable by the fact that most of the time we got to the zoo, they were closed, and we would go in during the middle of the week, except for like maybe 1 or 2 days we were on the weekend. So for the most part, but this one was cool. It had a Starbucks and everything. Yeah, all of the animals. I think this one was dope because a lot of the animals had room. I think this was the one with the bigger enclosures. Yeah, they had large enclosures for all the animals. They actually had a lot of room. Yeah. I think the only one I didn't like was was this the one with the alligator?
Yeah.
That was too small.
Was it?
One of the zoos had an alligator in an enclosure that was way too small.
I think that was Memphis. I'm pretty sure that was Memphis.
Okay. All right.
The big butterfly house that we went to.
Yeah, so we went to a separate, even though they had a butterfly enclosure there, we didn't know that there were butterfly houses at almost every zoo. So when we made the schedule of where we were going, we put this butterfly house in there to go check it out. Which, I mean, Thomas really could have saved the trip on the butterfly house. But if you just want to go see butterflies yourself, there's a butterfly house. Yeah.
Mental note, don't touch the butterflies like I do.
Yeah, you're not allowed to touch the butterflies, and this one doesn't listen, even though they clearly said, don't touch the butterflies.
Did you get a picture of the big one?
I think I did. But they had a huge freaking butterfly in there. Look at this one. And she's upset because she can't touch butterflies. If you weren't breaking the rules, you didn't have to worry about it. But look at these gigantic butterflies. And
Oh,
then,
you didn't get it.
then inside they have these. They have this interactive, or not interactive, educational video. You could say. St. Louis. Their aquarium wasn't really aquarium, but I mean it was like this 24/7 fair, man. And I loved it.
It was pretty cool, yeah.
It was fun. And you're gonna see the giant koi pond with like 1 million koi fish in it. I feel like it's overpopulated.
Definitely.
Oh, look at that.
But you could feed them, right? People were feeding them.
And yeah, they had this rope
Indoor,
course.
Yeah, rope course. That was cool. First time I ever went on one of those.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, their aquarium, it wasn't an aquarium, it was more kid friendly. It was more like touch pools and things like that where you can put your hand in and touch your fish and whatnot.
For what it was just good.
Yeah.
It wasn't, there wasn't much there.
Board
Yeah, it
box.
was a quick walk.
He also loves to make new friends, so he may come over and
Bella.
sharp teeth, and they don't usually use their teeth in order to defend themselves. But we do hand feed each other, so if you get a finger stuck in an armadillo's mouth, it's not going to feel good.
See that? This cool little magnetic river thing.
He's 10 months old now.
And the kids to play in, so it's very interactive for kids. A lot of touch pools. You got the turtles basket. He explained how to touch the jellyfish when it was okay, but we didn't
touch
touch
them on the top.
Yeah.
The top of their body is fine to touch, but if you touch the tentacles,
Over with.
it's all over.
It's over with.
Somebody got pee on you. That's actually not true. Did you know that?
I'm glad. Pee on me. It was just real chill, man. But it was like a quick little walkthrough aquarium, nothing too major. I think we probably breezed through that aquarium in maybe like 10 minutes. Really not bad. Went through a first mirror maze. Oh, then we checked out this place, Naughty and Nice. Good ice cream shop.
So they got alcoholic ice cream and regular ice cream, and I think vegan ice cream too. Right?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it though, man. So we're gonna let the other us talk about it instead of double talking ourselves over. So
Omaha's Henry Doherty Zoo and Aquarium here, which is one of the largest zoos in the world when you think about combining size and the amount of species at the same time. And we had that experience yesterday. Yesterday we went to the Kansas City Zoo. We didn't make it to the aquarium. We're gonna hit the aquarium on the way back. There's Sea Life in Kansas, is what the aquarium is called. But our experience there was very long. It was a very long walk. A lot of walking that took us longer than we expected. But there wasn't a lot of stuff in between, and that means that there were a lot of long gaps where there were no animals. It wasn't even like long elephant range or anything like that. Well, the elephants did have a lot of room. They did have a lot of room to walk, but for the most part, it was empty. Now there were a couple of places where they're doing construction, so it looks like they're adding on. I saw they were building an aquarium. They were building a crocodile exhibit. So they were building a lot of things. So they did have an indoor penguin experience too. They did have a polar bear. But my biggest takeaway from the Kansas City Zoo was it is a lot of walking. So if you're going to go to the Kansas City Zoo, expect what?
It says discounts are for veterans.
Only active duty. Oh, that sucks. But yeah, so that was my experience. What about you?
A lot of walking.
Yeah, a lot of walking. That was the Kansas City Zoo. It was a lot of walking. You didn't really see too much different species that you. They did have a lot of
Birds.
they did have a lot of birds and African deer. They had a lot of that's not what they're called, but they had a lot of like gazelles, andos, things like that, horned deer-like species, I guess would be the proper or not proper term, but y'all get what I'm saying.
It was interesting.
Yeah. So they had
I wouldn't say it was terrible, but yeah, it was a lot of walking.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of walking. You know, I don't do cardio.
Yeah, but that was the main thing. It was a lot of walking, and not because it was just a lot of walking, just because there wasn't anything in between. So it was like long gaps between one exhibit to the next exhibit of just nothing but trees or concrete, I guess. But they do offer a tram that you can get on and ride from one side to the other. We kind of learned that too late. We could have used it to ride to the other side and been okay. But yeah, they do offer a tram ride that you can get on. But
definitely invest in that.
definitely invest in that because there's a long gap from your regular exhibits to, I guess, your African exhibit. There's a long gap. There's like 2 bridges you walk over before you get to any animals. So you definitely want to invest in that if you do have the opportunity.
I want to say it was about like 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah,
something like that.
It was distance. It's a lot of walking. Let's just put it like that. So, but yeah. So we're here. This is the main point of our vacation, was to get to Omaha, Nebraska for the Henry Doorly Zoo and Aquarium. So we're gonna spend it all day here pretty much, and knock it on out. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Tell you all the rides, all the different types of food they got in here, right next to the map. So, that's different.
This is the one.
I tell you all
This is our, what do you call it? What do you want to call it? Our final destination?
Piece de resistance. Piece de resistance.
Listen, this is the first building.
Look
that
at
we
this,
went
man.
Into.
Look at it. Look. This is a zoo, man. Like, this is what I get it. There's like the best zoo, and then there's other zoos, man. But we walked in, and there's waterfalls coming out of everywhere. There's trees, fake trees, and like some real like vines, like they have planted. Like, I mean, if they weren't real, some of them looked real. But I know a lot of them were fake. But just look.
You're just mind blown. The second you walk in, mind blown.
Like, it's crazy.
It's
Look at
zoo.
that. It's the #1 zoo. When we did our research, Omaha was #1, and so far I wonder, like, look at all these bats that they had. That was ridiculous. Look at all the room that, they had to roam. And then they had this little cutaway, like you could sneak on the side. Because they had multiple, like, ways that you could sneak if you wanted to, like, explore. Like, you can lose your kid in here if your kid wanted to hide without telling you.
You could also go on the bottom, too, but that was closed at the time.
Yeah. Look at that. You get different angles, look at stuff from different sides. And I mean, this was small. I kind of almost had to turn sideways a little bit to get through that steps right there.
They definitely won.
Just look at how it looks just like a jungle. That was tough.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Skink species. 3 Southfield skinks, aka monkey skinks, aka the largest skinks on the planet.
They had this little exhibit where you can kind of learn about stuff. Yeah. Basically, where you can learn. As you can see, no one's there. They had this giant theater, the Desert Dome, which is also a reptile exhibit, basically, which is freaking awesome. Look, they had different kinds of dirt. They got just desert dirt just sitting there.
They had a lot of their birds and whatnot were roaming.
Yeah. So especially this Need stork or whatever it was, the first time I seen one of those. They had a lot of firsts. There were a lot of animals that I didn't see for them. Something like that. Like mini something. I don't remember. You're the expert, didn't you say? You can name everything.
Listen.
I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet.
Little iguanas.
Rock monitor.
Goannas.
I don't think a random picture got put in here. Yeah, you walking through. It's like a desert. I always love themed walks. I love when they decorate the whole thing.
Oh, this part.
This was.
This is the darkness.
Oh yeah, no, this is the this is the darkness. This was their
Nighttime.
nighttime expert for the. You could see all the animals that live at nighttime. Well, nocturnal, that's the word.
Yeah.
Nocturnal animals that they have. It's really hard to show on camera. It was really cool because you could barely see it with the naked eye, to be honest, because they had it so dark in there with the red light and blue light. So you can barely see the animals, but all the animals that nocturnal animals, you can just see them.
Oh, those are aardvarks. I didn't think they were that big.
Yeah.
I thought they were like the size of a rabbit. No. They're like the size of a small dog.
Yeah.
Not even small, like pit bull size.
These things are huge, man. And that was the crazy part. Animals that you didn't think were that big were like freaking huge.
More bats.
Yeah, I think these were more bats. I think.
Wow, that's good.
I think it was very cool.
That sounds personal.
Like I said, it was very dark in here. It was one of those things where it's about the animals, not about you. And they just put a nocturnal animal in a lighted room in the dark, so it's like you could see them, you could see them. You couldn't. This is, if you don't have good eyesight, you might as well not even know it.
I think this is going into the swamp area.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
So they had a big swamp area where you could walk over on like a bridge. I don't want to say rope bridge, but like a boardwalk kind of. And like they had crocodiles and turtles and gators and everything just in the water in this big underwater habitat that you can kind of walk over.
I thought you would have been able to see that better now because it was kind of.
I'm still not sure where we're at, to be honest with you. I just know where we're at, but it was super dark in there. So I'm doing my best to paint a picture. I think you can see better in that crocodile exhibit, that swamp exhibit.
Yeah.
This was just.
I know when we saw the bats,
See,
we
these
kind
are
of ran.
steps. Yeah. Trying to see if I could show it. I think I did. But there's more nocturnal animals that you couldn't see. Like I said, I just took all the footage and put it together. So it was organized. So I'm walking with the camera. I'm not even filming right now. We just left the camera on. Into the unknown. Yeah, so yeah, this is the swamp. Yeah. This is the swamp. These were the actual tanks, though. So you can see them. Oh, I didn't show the walk part. You couldn't see it properly. It's the Sea Turtle Cafe. I thought this was real cool. So when you go out here, there's misting stations like all the way around the outside of that cafe. So it's like completely cooled over there, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we got some anemones down there. We got some other cool anemones too.
There's a touch pool for the starfish.
It's a dolphin.
This was the penguins. Penguins. Penguin, whatever. Definitely cool. I like how they definitely created the wave motion for the reef fish. This was definitely the coolest zoo aquarium. Yeah, but they had a huge one backstage.
Big
Yeah, they had a huge one.
That was the behind the scenes look.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
Hey, babe, I just want to let you know I'm getting really good at filming and dodging kids. Like, this is a talent. To be
Listen,
able,
dodging kids and filming is very hard, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, the jellyfish.
The jellyfish. Those are real jellyfish. That wasn't a picture.
A lot of
Butterfly
the time,
house. Surprisingly, and then they also had the best butterfly house, man. The butterflies, man, they had like, look, they're all over. They were all over the camera. You barely could see anything.
a lot of the time, the jellyfish enclosures,
Yeah.
they have to supply a current
Oh.
because a lot of jellyfish won't really
Right. Move.
move around.
Without
They'll
the
just
current.
be stationary. Oh, this is where I thought there was a rhino, but it was just a rock.
They did the giraffes. We didn't see none of the giraffes though. This is where they had the elephants. They had the cute
The
baby elephant, the baby elephant right
so
there.
Cute.
It's the baby.
Sunny.
Sunny. These are some of the grill spots and lodges.
Oh, those birds are cool.
The macaw.
Very loud.
Very loud. Very loud birds. I'm not even gonna
But
lie
they were
to you.
pretty.
So this way you can come and walk over and look at some of the birds. There were like 6 of them.
I wonder if they did some type of like bird show over there or something.
Probably because they were just out.
Sunscreen for all you
Oh,
white people.
listen. Pause really quickly. Listen. Since I am the one that took the video shot of that sunscreen. Okay, listen. I was in the bathroom. Hold on, let me see if I could go back to it. Hold on. Maybe if I can.
You went too far.
Hold on. I'm working on it. I'm trying to inch to it because it was a quick shot.
No, too far. Too far.
I don't need you to narrate what I know is going on.
It was like right after the birds.
Hold on. Let me see. Are we ready for it? What?
You see the garden and then real quick, you'll see.
Listen. Tell y'all something about the sunscreen and the reason why. Quick too fast.
Right about.
You're not helping me trying to focus. All right. So listen. All right. This sunscreen. The reason why I took a video of this sunscreen really quick. This person right here, as you can see, I'm black. She's Caucasian. She burns.
White.
This is the first.
White.
This is the first zoo I have been in that, and I don't even want to say zoo, just place them in complimentary sunscreen. So if you go to Omaha Zoo and you need sunscreen, they have some in the bathroom if you need it. If you just forget to bring it, you know what I'm saying, or anything like that, it was there. And I just thought that was just something dope that they have. I always like to point out dope features and stuff, but I thought that was one of those things, and I think that's something that people pay attention to. So yeah, definitely they got complimentary sunscreen for all you non-melanated people. But yeah, this was
Pig sacrifice circle.
Yeah, this was definitely that pig circle was definitely demonic. It was just weird. They had some kind of music playing up. It was just weird. I wouldn't take I don't have any kids. I wouldn't take it to that big circle. That's just dangerous. It was just weird. I don't know why they were there. Maybe there's a history behind it, and I don't know. But it was cool. Right? I mean, not cool. It was just weird. I thought this was very cool. The theme and everything was awesome. As far as they went Asian, had this change. This was the first and only tiger, active tiger we've seen throughout our whole trip. And they gave him a big, wide range of land to run over, and I just thought that was dope.
So throughout the entire trip, most of the animals were hiding. I guess they're afraid of the heat or something,
Lions, and
which
tigers.
absolutely blows my mind because most of these animals are from Africa and very hot climates, very hot and dry climates.
We didn't Americanize them, man. We done put them there. We done gave them AC.
They become a bunch of pansies.
We done gave them AC, man. Man, listen, I ain't going out in that heat if I ain't got to. My food on the inside and everything, man. I don't care about the tourists. I ain't staying out there. They had some more nighttime exhibits there.
Lemur sitting under the heat lights.
Lemurs. Try to absorb the heat.
That would be me.
Mm-hmm. This was fun. These are the first gorillas and chimpanzees that we've seen actually just active and about. Chimpanzees. They're actually out there playing around. He was obsessed with that sheep. He was running around with it, and he wouldn't let nobody get it. He was trying to take it from him, but he claimed that as his. Nobody couldn't get it. It was wet. I don't know why he wanted it so badly, but it was his, and he wouldn't let nobody else get it at all.
He said sharing is not caring.
Yeah.
This dude just didn't want nothing to do with nobody. Minding his own business. Eating his little branch.
These are the big dogs and gorillas. If you guys ever look at the background, if you guys ever remember a viral video of two gorillas fighting, and somebody's like, "Where's the zookeeper?" Omaha Zoo was the zoo. Just look at the background, and that's where the gorillas came from. But yeah, they were definitely dope. They was active. He kept coming to different glasses and sitting down and interacting, but I was trying to avoid the kids. You would sit at different windows, so yeah. And then that's the entrance to the zoo.
All right, so we just got finished.
And there's our excitement. It looks like we're in somebody's neighborhood.
Omaha's.
Oh, this is back at the hotel.
An aquarium.
I think so.
Within 5 minutes of being in the first exhibit, they won. I mean, hands down, it was the best one. For the sheer fact of the exhibits, the same thing we thought about the Tennessee Aquariums exhibits for all the underwater, fish, turtles, animals, reptiles, amphibians, whatever. That's what we thought about Henry Doorly Zoo. We walked in. The first part was, they call it the Lied Jungle. I don't know why. I didn't get an answer on that. I didn't ask, but the Lied Jungle was indoor-outdoor rainforest exhibit. And we walked in, and I mean, there's waterfalls, there's real trees, there's real vines, waterfalls. I mean, it looks, about as natural as you can get.
Massive.
Yeah, and it was massive, man. They had little caves you could walk in to see different angles and stuff. It was great. And then the next part was the desert. Yeah, was it the desert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The desert was next.
Yeah, it was the desert. We went to the desert, which was most of their reptiles. Which is the crazy part, because they didn't have a crazy, just straight up reptile house. Most of the a lot of reptiles, whatever part of the world they were in, that's what exhibit they were kind of in for a part of it. So, but I liked it. You had that. Then they had the first nocturnal exhibit I've seen, where the whole exhibit is completely dark and it's nothing but red lights, UV light, stuff like that.
See, I'm not a fan of that, but I can't see as it is.
Yeah. So you can't see, and I can't really see either. So with me recording, I couldn't really see either because it was completely dark unless I had some night vision camera lens or something like that. I can only really kind of see with the naked eye, and even then I barely could see. And then she wears glasses, so she couldn't see. So, but it was still cool that they made that habitat for nocturnal animals and to be able to see them. The part that did it for me was that a lot of the animals were happy. And I know maybe a zoo can't have any control of whether their animals are out at one time or not. But for me, it's been the same temperature pretty much throughout all the zoos. We're in the 90s, in the high 90s throughout the whole time.
Basically 100 the entire
Yeah,
time.
100, 190s. It's been about 10 degrees difference to the whole thing. Granted, 10 degrees can make a big difference, but for the most part, within 10 degrees, all the zoos were the same temperature when we were there. And all animals were out. Whether they were napping or what, they were out. We saw cheetahs for the first time. Other zoos had cheetahs, but I guess they were indoors or whatever. Like, they just wasn't dealing with the heat. Cheetahs, they were out. They weren't active, but they were napping and, kind of playing with each other a little bit.
Even the snow leopard was out.
Yeah, the snow leopard was out. The tiger.
I don't think the only thing we didn't see was polar bears.
Yeah, we didn't see polar bears. I don't think so. But did we miss the sea lions? Because we didn't see sea lions. I think we missed the sea lions. I think we missed the R2 part.
Maybe.
I think we missed the part.
That was probably all over in the kids section.
Yeah, that's probably. Because they had a big kids section and we kind of skipped that part because what was the reason? But I think we skipped that part. And we didn't get to see the sea lions and they might have had polar bears over there. But yeah, they were out. The tiger was actually, I think it's the second tiger we seen in all the zoos, and he was out. He was running across the habitat. The gorillas, indoor and outdoor, they were outside. They were playing with each other. They were active, having fun. They were kind of interacting with, us through the glass and everything. So habitats, and instead of just big fields of dirt or leaves or whatever, there was actual grass in the habitat. So I think they do a good job of taking care of their animals. So what about you? What you got to say?
I basically said.
Yeah, I think I said too much. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I basically nailed it down. What was your favorite part?
My favorite part? I don't even know. I really like the jungle part. That first building that we went into.
The indoor jungle?
I think that was probably my favorite part.
The indoor jungle.
The second we walked in there, it was just like.
Yeah. The indoor jungle was it was it. That was it. You know what I'm saying? And because you just walked in and it just felt like you were in the rainforest. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely enjoyable. But the part that I thought you was going to say that you didn't say, the part that was the most mind blowing to both of us was how simple it was to navigate the zoo.
I think you were more mind blown about that than I.
I was
kind of followed the leader.
Listen, I was mind blown because making sure you go through a zoo and see every single exhibit is hard work. Okay, we gotta go this way. This is in this part. That's in this part. Okay, cool. But if we walk this way, but if we turn left, okay, this part. You could go two ways in this one. Like, it's very complicated to navigate through a zoo. With Henry Dorling, it basically was a triangle. It's shaped like a triangle, kind of. But it basically was a triangle. And you basically go through the exhibits that you go in, you come out the same door. Well, not the same exact door, but the same side, so you can stay on the path. So it's not like you go through an exhibit, you come out on the other side that goes into another path that's cut and cross, and then now you're walking in circles or having to go this way and then come back. That sounds complicated, doesn't it? So, but the best part was you can simply just walk around the zoo, walk in the exhibit, walk out, keep going on the same path, walk in, walk out, without missing anything. The only parts where you could get cross was they had a bridge where you could feed the koi fish and the ducks. You could walk that way instead of walking around, but you could still see the other side, so you knew to navigate that way. And then the gorilla exhibit brings you to the exit, or you can go. You can still go right and go to like the kids side, the campgrounds, and all of that. And apparently there's sea lions, but we just decided to leave at that point. So because we thought it was all kid stuff. So, but yeah, I was definitely excited about the navigation. That was very easy.
See, in that sense, I love the layout, but it wasn't like the ease of it. It was just the way they laid it out, like all the different countries, and I don't know, it just fascinates me how they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was specifically structured to this country, this continent has all these countries in it, so all these animals are in one section, and then in another country, another continent, you have all those animals that are native to there, and I just like the way that's laid out.
Yeah. So yeah, Henry Dorley definitely takes the cake. There was a bit of walking involved. I say as far as walking goes, it would come in second. St. Louis still has.
Yeah, nothing was as bad as that.
St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis still got the top on the walking. St. Louis takes the cake on walking.
I like that zoo. It was very simple. It was a simple zoo because it had a lot of basic zoo animals and whatnot. But that walking kind of
St. Louis Zoo.
That was rough.
Kansas City was a walk too. Kansas City had that long gap.
Yeah.
Between, so I think because Kansas City wound up taking us all day. So I think.
Yeah.
I wasn't St. Louis, it's Kansas City.
Yeah.
It wasn't St. Louis, it's Kansas City. Yeah, we got it mixed up. Kansas City was the long one.
Because that was the last one we just did.
Yeah. Kansas City was the long one. After Kansas City, then we would put Henry Dorley. But Henry Dorley, though, it was wonderfully mapped out. I
think it's the all-time best zoo that we've been to.
Yeah, it's the best one that we've been to. But granted, it is also the only one that is on the list. So when you look up top zoos in the U.S., the biggest zoos in the U.S., zoos with the most species.
I think it usually comes up with like San Diego, right?
Yeah, San Diego, Bronx. San Diego, Bronx.
Is there Los Angeles or something like that?
No, I didn't see LA that much. I've seen Cincinnati too come up a while ago. So there's a couple of zoos, but Henry Dorley is always in the list. Whether it's always in the top 5. It might not be number 1, but it's always in the top 5. And the list that I saw was number 1 for having a combination of species and size, which I agree with on that one as far as having a lot of species and size at the same time. So Henry Dorley's definitely it. The only thing we missed is we do have to cut back through Memphis and we have to go see sea life in Kansas City. So that's that for right now. So yeah.
Yeah, Aquarium Adventure.
This aquarium, wasn't it?
No, this was. We came back to Kansas City. Yeah, we came back to Kansas City. Yeah, in Legoland. So Sea Life in Legoland is basically for kids. It's basically what it's for. And that's what's point blank here.
We weren't allowed in Legoland because we didn't have a kid under 17.
Yeah, you gotta have a kid under 17 to go to Legoland. Because I guess it's interactive. I thought before you guys said, you're an adult, you wanted to go to Legoland. I just thought it was a place where people build cool, I thought it was just like a Lego museum. There was this cool, I don't know, somebody built the astronaut out of Legos or something. I just thought it was just going to be something like that, like a wax museum, but of Legos. That's what I thought it was going to be. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to go play with Legos, and I thought it would be something cool to see. And they were like, no, it's interactive, You got to have a kid, somebody under 17 to go with you before you go, which is weird, because usually it's the opposite. So it was just weird to hear that. This is the Sea Life side, though. The Sea Life in Legoland. This is the Sea Life side. And like I said, it's a little cool walkthrough thing. But it's very interactive. You see they got the little tablets on the side.
It was
For you
very
to type.
child.
Yeah, and then they have this tablet which is really cool. They could color a fish, and then it would pop up on the other side of the wall. Oh, this was the 3-point challenge at Worlds of Fun.
Listen,
we both did terrible.
I haven't shot a basketball in quite a few years, okay?
Yeah.
I'm good at basketball, I swear. But you can never tell from this.
Yeah, we both went 0 for 10 or 12, whatever it was. Yeah.
Can't even keep a track
How many
of
balls
time.
on there? 4? Yeah, so we both went 0 for 12. We both probably shouldn't have been out there. It was a waste of money, Yeah, but what's crazy? I was going for 1. I was like, you know what? If I get 1, I know I can win, and I can have bragging rights. If I get 1 shot,
Hey,
and
you
I
make one, I'm gonna
didn't
tell
get.
everybody you made
I
all
didn't.
12. I got the
See, look,
video.
that's like if you tell everybody else, you get one. But yeah, I didn't even get one shot. But conversely, I feel good because I had a video of Steph Curry, and I think Steph Curry only made like 3, and he's the best 3-point shooter in history. So the fact that I made none and he made 3, I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm far off. If I would have made 1, I'm practically an NBA player at that point. I'm just saying, but that's the point.
Ah. Ah.
Ready? In 3, 2, 1, go.
And I just, oh my god, boom, air
That's
ball.
gonna be a good pass, that second shot. Gonna hit rim, but not go in that third. Gonna hit the other side of the rim, but not go in
Look
that
at I'm
first.
short on it, and it's crazy. Like in my mind, I'm thinking I got like the purest form, and I'm like baby armor shooting. That's crazy. Because when I'm shooting it, I'm thinking I got like an actual form, but then when I'm shooting there, This is how it looks like I'm shooting to me right now. Like, yeah.
Oh man.
And it comes from me short strokes because usually like I'm strong, so they're like, "Oh man, you shoot too hard." So I be trying to do it lightly, like really quickly, little quick pick
I
pop.
heard that it's a scam though. They overfill the basketball game.
Yeah, whatever.
Listen though, while we're still on that topic, that roller coaster
Oh yeah,
was
listen.
amazing. First of all, wooden roller coaster. That was one of the best wooden roller coasters I've ever been on. What was it called?
Timberland.
Sutton Page? No.
What, the wooden one?
Yeah.
The wooden one was called Timber something.
Oh. Timberwolf?
Timberwolf, that's what it
Yeah.
was. Timberwolf.
Yeah.
It was called the Timberwolf wooden roller coaster.
That was great.
If you're tall,
I love
if you're
wooden
tall,
roller coasters.
if you're tall, if you're tall,
If you're tall.
be careful, okay? Because they were that wooden roller coaster, man. I swear, there was some of those. I came around and I felt like that beam was like right here, and I don't.
See,
I felt like it would have hit me.
He doesn't understand that everybody has a tendency to, kind of pop out of their seats when you go over hills and whatnot. He said that he was gonna fall out of his seat.
We not listen.
I felt the same way.
Listen, we ain't even got to get on
And
that.
like,
We talking about head safety here, man. Like, yo, I thought like literally like it was right here, and I just had to I had to duck. Okay, like that's a hazard. I low key wish it did happen because I need some money, but at the same time, I probably would have been headless.
yeah,
So,
we don't want that.
Yeah.
And the other one, the freaking. Oh, on that topic though, apparently they do make specialized seats for bigger people.
She just called me fat.
I didn't say you specifically.
But you didn't not say me specifically.
Are you trying to fight?
No.
We can record this. You started it.
I didn't know. You did. You called me fat.
Anyways, so on the Patriot one, right?
Yes.
They had specific seats for like people that.
Yeah, I think it was like row 4 or something like that. 5 is supposed to be for bigger people.
So whatever. I guess for newer coasters they have that as a thing.
But,
I didn't know that.
But yeah.
And the Mamba, that roller coaster was great.
Oh yeah. It was
It was amazing.
The roller coasters were good. I'm still not comfortable with going down, but the rest of it is lit.
The longest roller coaster in the US?
Or something like that.
I think that's what it was.
The longest or the fastest, or one of the fastest. I don't know. It's somewhere up there.
I want to say it's the longest.
Or was it the steepest drop?
No.
Was it the steepest drop?
No.
I don't know. It definitely wasn't the steepest. I don't want it to be the steepest drop. I have problems with going with when the roller coaster goes down. I have an issue with that. Okay. Everything else I'm cool with. I'm cool with the loop dupes. I'm cool with the full speed lifts and turns and all of that. But man, whenever we just go down the first time, and not even the first time, each time, because that one had a couple of drops in it, I freak out. I don't know. I feel like all of my insides are pressed too close to my back, and I don't like that. I feel like they'd have been moved all around, and I'm not comfortable with it. So, just saying.
I'm still looking.
What are you looking?
continue?
There's nothing to continue when I'm done.
Oh, okay.
What is it?
It doesn't say. One of the tallest, longest, and fastest roller coasters in the world.
There you go. It's one of the tallest, longest, and fastest.
It is one of the tallest and fastest in the world.
Tallest and fastest
Yes.
roller coasters in the world. There you go. On to Nashville. Now, I'll tell you what.
And the longest. Sorry.
And the longest. Now, I'm tell you what Nashville though. The Nashville Zoo. Listen, I love the whole design theme. If you look at it, like it has this Egyptian type theme to it. I thought
That's
that
Memphis. That's not Nashville.
Memphis. Yeah, my bad. Memphis. You keep me grounded.
I got you.
But listen, but Memphis. Listen, it was. Yeah, I love the style of their aesthetic. There you go. Look at you. All the time you don't know big words. We get on camera now. You know big words when I don't know it. Wow. Let me find out you faking out here. Let me find out you flexing out here. Okay, you be playing dumb all these time, but now we in public.
Wow.
Okay.
Did you hear this? You just called me dumb.
I said playing.
He said dumb.
I found out you scheming. You scheming. Okay. All right.
What is this? Tigers.
Tigers. Yeah, a lot of their animals weren't out either. So, and that's why I took into account the health of animals, because not to say they treated the animals badly, but I just thought it was cool that we went to Omaha and like a lot of the animals were out and were friendly and they're playing around, and everywhere else they go, they look like they were thrown in cages and just and just kind of left there. And of course the meerkat, he's on lookout. They're out everywhere. They don't care. They're just active. But yeah, he still just looks like a pig. I will give them this. Memphis Zoo, they had the best aviary. They did. They had a lot of birds that we didn't see in other places. Yeah.
And they had this little, you see it coming out, they had this little walkthrough.
Yeah, I mean,
path type thing.
Yeah, so a lot of these birds we didn't see. They just had common birds like storks and whatnot, egrets and stuff. But they actually had different birds that we had never seen before. And then you could walk in through here,
This would have been great.
and you could actually interact with the birds if one would choose to interact with you.
Definitely an interesting reality here.
Yeah.
Oh, up there. They're all up high.
I imagine this is what it's like going into a rainforest.
That's
It's a baby toucan.
It's an arcarary.
These are the African. They were just swimming. They were just swimming in the little. I don't know what to call them. Group of penguins. School.
Flock?
That's fish.
Flutter?
Flock. A flutter. Fling. I was very upset at this part too. The farm part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the animals in this farm part looked like they were uncomfortable. Look how skinny that horse looked. The horse, the little two hump, and like they just looked skinny. Looked like they were starving. And that was kind of my underwhelming. He looks like he was hurt. And he just had this one goat just outside, just chilling.
Goats eat everything,
yeah.
so.
They were hiding, like he was hiding in the shade from the heat over there. Then they had this tiny on the outside looked promising. Then you went on the inside and it was like they just took over an old school. You put a couple fish tanks in there, and then their aquarium basically it was this one room right here. That's it, just this one room right here, and that was the aquarium. That's it, nothing else. No stairs, no
Nothing
exhibits,
crazy.
no nothing. That was it. That was it.
Dragon's Lair.
I will give them this. They had the most
We gonna put
Komodo dragons monitors.
I like those enclosures, the
Yeah.
outside ones.
They had them outside.
Those are really cool.
They had like 3 outside, and then they had like 1 or 2 inside, I think.
I think there was 2.
Yeah, I think it was 2 inside. They had a nice outdoor enclosure
No.
for some of them.
Herp
Those are
Terrier
decent
hidden in the
reptile
leaves.
enclosures.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they had a very in-depth reptile enclosure. Though. I did like that. They had a bunch of different kinds of snakes and reptiles. So I did enjoy that. The boom viper is definitely my favorite snake, even though I probably never get close to one.
Did I ever show you the black and yellow one?
I think you did.
Definitely terrifying. No rattler. Is in there another one?
They had a bunch of snakes.
No. Oh, there's the for the lance.
They're also called.
Forgot what they're called. Shoot. Gila monster. Sailfin dragon. You're welcome. Nerding out in here again.
Again.
I love this place.
Yeah, this one. I think they went on the partially went on the reptile.
Except for the one enclosures that are coming out.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Yeah,
It was very irritating.
I think the coolest thing about everything here.
They definitely had a lot of them on display, and you could actually see them all.
Ah, that's Tegu. It's gonna be Gizmo soon.
See, they had them inside, and it was just too small, and I wasn't sure. I didn't get a good bit of that. If I could go back to that,
I think the coolest thing about
I kind of got a longer clip of that, and I didn't.
Anybody wanted to know, they're aquatic.
take it.
Black and white Tegu.
So yeah, so this is the
Basically, you see where that tree stump ends over there?
that's the end of his enclosure.
Yeah.
That's it, and it wasn't very big. And he was just stuffed. He didn't really have much of room to walk in and turn around, as versus on the outside. Now the ones on the outside, they had a lot of room. They had some dry land. They had some water and everything like that. That's probably the space they should need. Him, he was just inside of a tank like that,
Absolutely miserable.
and that was probably the flattest surface he had to lay down, because the rest of it is it's curved and holed, and like you can see on the top corner there. So yeah, I wasn't very fond of that at all.
Burmese python.
Big behind snake. That's what it's called.
Did you flash?
Like shoes.
I was trying to get a shot. Without going up and showing all your cheeks hanging down. That's what I was trying to do. Yeah, you good.
Oh,
This is the cool the pandas. I love they have this whole exhibit. When you actually get to the pandas, did they look like they was alright? It was alright. But I thought it was just cool how they had that whole thing built. What's up?
I don't know how pandas survive in the wild.
Yeah, me either, man. I don't know. I have no idea, man. They're just so carefree.
I don't know if you've ever seen videos of them, but they're just, I don't want to say useless, but
it's just pointless to me. But like, he was just done. He was just done for the day. He was out, covered up. He didn't do whatever. But I just thought it was cool how they had that whole like temple look built just for the pandas. I thought that was cool. We caught this one roaring before. I forgot what kind of deer it was. It was some kind of Carl's reindeer or something like that. And I couldn't get it to do it again, and I was upset. Do the roar. But he was in there just chilling. So Bongos. And we're walking. Could be.
Oh, bear.
Oh yeah, the bear. The bear. Oh no. Bear necessities.
I like their enclosure. I told you
Yeah.
about this enclosure before we even went. Remember?
Well, we look hot.
Huh?
And I don't mean like good looking hot. I mean like we look hot. Especially me. I look like I'm tired.
Okay.
I'm glistening. But let's go and let them let us talk about this some more, and then
we came back
we'll
from
reach
Kansas City, and we hit City Aquarium because their Kansas City Zoo is actually building an aquarium as we speak. But that's just called Sea Life Kansas City in conjunction with Legoland. I guess they said it's like a discovery center. It's mostly made for kids. So when we walked through, so we were immediately turned away on Legoland. I didn't know. I just thought we were gonna see some cool Lego sculptures or something. That's what I thought it was gonna
Apparently,
be.
you ever have somebody with you that's under the age of 17.
Yeah, somebody has to be under the age of somebody has to be under the age of 17 for you to be able to go to Legoland and Sea Life Kansas City. Well, you can go to the Sea Life part, the aquarium part. You can't go to Legoland because she's like, oh, it's like activities and stuff for them to do. Da, 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 da. Yeah. I was a fan. I was like, I just want to see some Legos. Like, we too big to see Legos. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought I was gonna see some cool like sculptures that people made out of Legos. Like, yo, like to be shocked, like, yo, they really made that out of Legos. Like, that's what I thought I was gonna see. They said it was like a little learning environment for the kids or whatever. So we weren't able to go do that. So we walked through the aquarium side, and it's basically a walk-through aquarium. A lot of it looked like touch pools, even though they didn't really want you to touch the fish in the water. A lot of it was like low-level acrylic, like rimless, like tanks, where you could just walk through, and it would just kind of swerve through a little bit, snake through. But yeah.
Very child-oriented.
Yeah, it's very child-oriented. They had like
everything was very bright and colorful and like interactive. There was a lot of interactive things throughout the aquarium for kids.
Yeah, at the end they had like tablets where they could like color a fish. I couldn't really get one without a kid being in the way, and I was trying to film a lot of this without getting any kids in the way because I know how like YouTube is with like kids and tablets, stuff like that. So I was trying to avoid getting kids to do it. So I was hard for me to be able to get one of those tablets. But the way it looked like to us is like they could draw a fish on a tablet or color a fish on a tablet, and then save it, and it would pop up on like a 3D wall or something, and the fish would be on the wall that they drew or colored it would be swimming on the wall. But I couldn't really show that because there was like a bunch of kids in there at the time. So I wasn't able to do that. But yeah, it was a quick little walk. There wasn't a big aquarium. Of course, they had the little walk-over tunnel that all aquariums have, but it wasn't that big. So pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then after that, we went to iFly, indoor skydiving. Indoor skydiving is lit.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. The first time you go up, it was kind of weird because you were trying to get your position and used to being, I don't want to say free falling, but being in the air kind of like that, in the tunnel. And then the second time you went is when you were able to kind of have more fun with it. So I think it was pretty awesome. Our instructor was awesome. I forgot his name, honestly. His name on the list.
I have his thing, his contact, my Venmo. Where's my phone?
The instructor, his name
was,
you get these little certificates. I don't want to show these because they have names on them. Flynn. So Flynn was.
I think I would have remembered that
right.
Because you haven't seen it, but Disney movie Tangled.
Yeah.
The main guy character, his name is Flynn Rider.
Oh.
That's the first thing I thought when he said his name. I can't believe I forgot that.
But he was very cool. Took his time with everybody. Most of us that were there at that time were first time skydivers.
Except for that one kid.
Except for like one kid. But yeah. So it was pretty fun. They make you watch a little 5-minute video. They teach you the different signals for for communicating when you're in the tunnel because you can't hear a thing. They give you earplugs and everything. It's kind of hard to hear while you're in there.
Oh yeah, you're trying to talk to me the whole time. I was like, no,
Yeah.
I
You can't hear like once you have the earplugs, the helmet on, and the wind starts going, you can't really hear.
And I can't hear as it is.
Yeah. So they teach you hand signals. But it was pretty cool. To do that, something I would definitely do again. So if you ever thought about going, trying indoor skydiving, it's definitely fun. It's not as crazy as you think it is. You basically just lay down the whole time with a whole bunch of air coming under you, blowing air under you. So I mean that's pretty much it. But it was pretty fun, and he gave us a little show.
That was neat.
Yeah, he was in there pretending like he was Spider-Man and stuff like that.
Jumping off the walls
and stuff like that. Astronaut. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see. Definitely. We bought shirts and we got a magnet, so good go. So.
Ooh. And we went to World of Fun.
Oh, we went to World of Fun as well.
Theme park.
We went to
Worlds of Fun and Oceans of Fun. 2 theme parks in one. One's like a theme park.
Side note,
Worlds of
apparently
Fun
we already
and
talked about
Oceans
that,
of
and
Fun.
I thought
2
this
theme
video was
parks in
completely in
one.
order,
One's like
and
a
it's not in
water
order.
Yeah,
But I'm not rearranging
it's
it.
like a regular theme park.
Because I'm done
we didn't
editing.
do
I'm
everything
sorry.
there. We just kind of went and rode
So-
a couple roller coasters.
It's over with.
Because this one here loves roller coasters. I didn't really have an answer on middle school, and I only rode 2. I rode the kiddie one to see if I was a kid rider one, and then I rode the afterburner. These were at Carowinds when I was like in 8th grade. So this is like 15 years ago, I want to say, that I did this. So what I learned is roller coasters are fun. Minus the going down part. The going down part literally sends my stomach into the tightest ball you could freaking imagine when we go down. But once we go down, I'm good after that. I'm good. I just going down is the part that gets me.
That's the fun of it.
Huh? It is fun, but listen, they're not made. They're not made for big. They're not made for big people. They need to make roller coasters comfortable for big people because a lot of times I was squeezed into these roller coasters, and by big, I don't mean fat. I just mean big, just big people. 6 foot, 240, 250.
There was only one roller coaster that was really accommodated
for bigger people, and it was only one. The rest of them were squeezed in.
I could see the wooden roller coaster not being really accommodated because it's old school.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that the other one wasn't.
Yeah. So it threw me off, but they were fun. We rode the Mamba. The Mamba was what? It was
The
like
longest and fastest roller coaster in the U.S.
yeah, something like that. Probably
It's
look up.
definitely the longest. I don't know if it's the fastest.
And yeah, but it was pretty fun.
Has a 200-foot 90-degree drop, is it?
Yeah, you just go basically you plunge straight down. I lifted up out my seat. I freaked out. I do not like that feeling of being lifted up out my seat. I do not. This is the going down part. Once I go down, once we hit down and we turn and go left, right, turn upside down, I'm completely fine the whole way. But just that initial, those drops, I don't know, they bother me. Even when we got to the end, we did like this little snake thing right there.
Great.
It was fun, but man, listen, every time we did a little drop, I just kind of like my stomach just I don't know why, and it wasn't even a big drop. It literally was like a little drop compared to like the actual drop that you did. So like if the actual drop on the ride was like up here, and you went all the way down like this, the snake was just literally like this, like, and for some reason, just even when we went down that little bit, I don't know why. It must have been, but yeah.
The 3 rides we went on was the Mamba,
The Patriot,
and Timberwolf.
The Timberwolf was the wooden roller coaster.
Yes, wooden roller coaster. I love wooden roller coasters. They're amazing. I think they're some of the best. It's
Some
so
of them are
basic,
scary,
they
though.
don't have like loops or anything crazy like that, but it's just the way they're designed. They're just
You got
something
nostalgia.
different.
What was it? Wooden roller coaster? A wooden roller coaster was it your first roller coaster or something like that?
My first ever roller coaster was Boulder Dash. Lake Compounds in Connecticut. Great roller coaster.
And it was
is
wooden.
the longest
So she's
wooden
biased.
roller coaster in the U.S.
She's biased. That's exactly what that means. She's biased. So yeah.
I'm not biased. I just know what I like.
Okay. All right. So, but yeah, that concludes our trip, our road trip for the 4 week. So we about to grab something to eat and make our way home so we can finally sleep in our own bed. So yeah. So then we'll probably edit this up and put some more talking, conversation, whatever. Yeah. Cool. Peace.